These 17 One Piece characters possess the qualities of a king and are also known as supreme rulers. Their willpower and ambition are so strong that they can do anything. One of Roger's most trusted allies and one of the most powerful combatants in the world during his prime. Even capable of using his Conqueror's Haki at a frightening easily rendered the owner of the auctioning house unconscious and later the entire hall room full of hostiles. What's more, as seen in both of these scenarios, he can seemingly choose specific targets he wants to attack with his Haki instead of attacking everyone in his vicinity. His knowledge and understanding of this power are probably one of the greatest in the series, shown when he trained Luffy, a complete novice, and turned him into a really strong Haki user in only 2 years. Oda, the author of One Piece, stated that Rayleigh's Conqueror Haki was at least twice as potent as Luffy's by the time of the Fishman Island arc, and that Rayleigh could have knocked out all 100,000 of the new Fishman Pirate. Rank how strong their Conqueror's Haki is, and based on all of this, Rayleigh definitely belongs in A tier. Boa Hancock, the Pirate Empress. Boa is the captain of the Kuja Pirates and was the only female warlord of the sea before the organization's disbandment. According to Sandersonia and herself, Boa possesses the ability to use Conqueror's Haki. While she has not yet showcased her usage of it and events of those games aren't canon, I'll unfortunately have to put her in D tier for now. Don Quixote do Flamingo, the Heavenly Demon. Doflamingo was one of the strongest warlords in the series, as well as the former world noble and king of Dressrosa. He first awakened his Conqueror's Haki when he was around 10 years old, when being pursued by North Blue citizens who tried to continuously torture his family in revenge. Rayleigh taught him more about Conqueror Haki, thus he finally gained conscious control over it. Same as Rayleigh, he became capable of using it on only designated targets without affecting anyone else. We first got to see the extent of his new power on Fishman Island, where he instantly knocked out 50,000 members of the new Fishman Pirates. Later in the story, during the raid on Onigashima, while fighting Kaido, Luffy realized that he can infuse himself with Haki, doing so on his arms and legs, which dramatically increases his attack power. Combined with his advanced armament Haki, this allowed him to deal immensely powerful blows against Kaido, whereas his previous attacks were too application of Conqueror's Haki a few moments prior, his control over it was crude and clumsy, leading to him being swiftly knocked down by the Emperor. Not long after, when Luffy and Kaido clashed for the third time, their imbued Conqueror's Haki attacks caused clouds to Emperors clashed against each other, or when Roger himself had fought against one. As such, this might indicate that Luffy's Haki has ascended to the same level as that of the strongest pirates in the world. Don Chinjao. Chinjao is a former pirate, the leader of the Chinjao family, and the retired 12th leader of the Hoppo Navy. In his golden age, when he was still a pirate, he was considered a rival to both Garp and Roger and had a bounty of 542 million bellies. During one of his battles against Garp, the Vice Admiral punched him so hard that his head flattened. This incident severely limited his power from then on, and shot many of the competitors in Block C without laying a finger on them. This is an impressive feat, considering that most of the participants in Kurita Coliseum are strong fighters. Since Chinjao was one of the most famous pirates of his era, his Conqueror's Haki should be at least in a B tier. Whitebeard, the strongest man in the world. Edward Newgate was one of the most powerful pirates in history, and while he was still alive, he held the second biggest bounty ever, 5,046,000,000 belly for his Haki in the present timeline. However, judging by flashbacks from his heyday, he was an absolute beast in using it. He regularly clashed with some of the One Piece legends like Roger and Odin and seemingly never lost to 166, when he fought his longtime rival Goldie Roger. Here, their clashing Halshoku Haki was powerful enough to crack the air and generate a shockwave that blew back everything his weapon, Murakumogiri, with his Conqueror's Haki immensely increasing its strength. In his prime, Whitebeard was basically unstoppable and could pretty much defeat any character in the series. I think we can all agree that this legend deserves to be placed in God tier. Sengoku, the Buddha. Sengoku is actually the first and only Conqueror's Haki user on this list that isn't capable of using all three types of Haki. Although Odoku has Conqueror's Haki, we've never got to see him use it as the former fleet admiral usually stays out. Goku's Haki should definitely be an A tier. Charlotte Lean Lean, Big Mom. Big Mom is one of the most powerful characters in all of One Piece, and being a former emperor, she's capable of utilizing all three types. Wedding when she knocked a man out for questioning her relationship with Mother Carmel. Later, when her portrait of Carmel was destroyed, a distraught Big Mom unleashed her Haki again and incapacitated most of the party guests. She also has a rare ability to infuse Conqueror's Haki into herself, as signified by the black lightning emanating from the infused area. This drastically increases her attack power, and combined with her physical strength and armament Haki, makes her pretty much invincible. The best example is when she fought against Kaido at Onigashima, and the clash of their Conqueror's Hakis created a massive shockwave that split the heavens. As one of the former emperors of the sea, Big Mom's Haki should be strong enough to get her into A tier. Charlotte Katakuri. Being undoubtedly the strongest Sweet Commander, same as his mother, Katakuri managed to master all 3 forms of Haki. We've seen this when he released a large burst of Conqueror's Haki along with Luffy's own Haki in order to knock out Charlotte Flampe and her subordinates as punishment for their interrupt of over 1 billion bellies. Conqueror's Haki is not his main weapon when it comes to combat, and he mostly relies on other Haki types like observation. Therefore, I'll put him in B tier. Kozuki Odin. Although Odin was a pirate for only 5 years, he achieved many great things, like being a part of both Whitebeard and Roger pirates and finding the Laugh Tale. We've seen Odin using Conqueror's Haki multiple times throughout the series, and each time he managed to clash evenly against very powerful opponents. During his initial encounter with Edward Newgate 30 years ago, the sudden clash between them created a massive shockwave and enough against Kaido, with whom Odin clashed evenly despite Kaido's inhuman strength. While not shown in the manga, Odin also used Conqueror's Haki's more common effects in the anime once, making a bunch of Kaido, so there's still some characters he couldn't defeat, and for that reason, I'll put him at the top of A tier. Captain Eustace Kidd, ability to use Conqueror's Haki. However, so far in the manga, we didn't actually see him use this ability. Quickly with his own Haki-infused attack, I'll have to put Kidd in D tier for now. Yamato, the Oni Princess. As the son of Kaido, it was only natural for Yamato to develop incredible mastery over Conqueror years ago due to running wild throughout Onigashima as a child and knocking out Kaido's subordinates. As an adult, Yamato demonstrated its advanced application and was able to imbue his weapon, Takeru, with it. This caused a stream of black lightning to be emitted from it, as shown when performing Raimei Hake and Shinsoku Hakujaku. Even though Yamato managed to fight against Kaido for some time, it was obvious that her mastery over this power was nowhere near his, so I think B tier is a fitting place for him. Kaido, King of the Beasts. As the former Emperor of the Sea, Kaido is one of the most powerful pirates in the New World. He possesses immense mastery in using Conqueror's Haki, as shown when he clashed against a fellow Emperor Big Mom, producing a burst that shook Onigashima and split the sky in two of Haki that can damage the landscape around him and blow away opponents. Same as a few of the previous characters, he can infuse Conqueror's Haki into things, particularly his Hasaikai. Signified by the thin stream of black lightning radical strength, Kaido can easily knock out even some of the most powerful pirates in the series with only a few strikes. But considering that there's still some characters with stronger Haki than his, I'll put him at the top of A tier. Goldie Roger, the Pirate King. As the Pirate King and the man who conquered the Grand Line, Roger is the pirate with the highest bounty in his solely relying on his Haki, without ever eating a devil fruit. His usage of Conqueror's Haki was first seen when he clashed with Whitebeard, causing a large Haki burst to travel across the island and push back the Moby Dick alongside the nearby trees, clouds, and people. He could also infuse his sword Ace with Haki, and with only one swing, he could send a powerful combatant like Odin flying miles away. Roger is truly one of the Haki legends of the One Piece world, and he definitely deserves his spot in God tier. Roronoa Zoro, the Pirate Hunter. For most of the series, the power of Conqueror's Haki is laid dormant within Zoro, without him even knowing that he possesses it. This was first confirmed by Kaido after the Emperor was struck by Zoro's 9-sword style attack. Later, during Zoro's battle against King, he decided to go all out and use his Haki at its maximum, which ended up knocking out multiple low-ranked beast pirates, causing him to acknowledge he possessed it. At the same time, he ended up using its advanced application, infusing it into his 3 swords with all 3 emitting streams of black lightning. As their battle continued, Zoro gained conscious control over this power, using it to deal significant damage to King and eventually defeat him. Although Zoro only awakened this power recently, he's already shown great mastery over it, and therefore I'll put him in B tier for now. However, I definitely expect him to climb through the rankings as the story goes on. Fire Fist Ace. As the son of the Pirate King, Ace was bound to be a very powerful pirate and had the predisposition to develop an incredibly strong Haki. He did that at an early age, but initially had no contact when he was around 10 years old and rendered the Blue Jam pirates unconscious after an outburst of rage. He later gained knowledge of this power, presumably when he was a captain of the Spade Pirates or when he joined Whitebeard. Unfortunately, since pre-time skip, One Piece didn't really focus on Haki that much, we've never seen Ace use it. Therefore, I can't place him any higher than C tier. Red-haired Shanks. Throughout the series, Shanks has often been portrayed as one of the most powerful Conqueror Haki users in the entire world, all the way back in Chapter 1, when he intimidated a Sea King with a single glare, causing it to flee for its life. A bit later in the story, Shanks showcased his Haki mastery again when boarding Whitebeard's main ship. There, he was capable of knocking dozens of Whitebeard's men unconscious, many of whom were seasoned pirates able to survive the New World, while the flagship itself was damaged from the sheer force of his presence. When Shanks and Whitebeard collided, their combined might even split the sky in half. Although these events alone are enough to solidify him as one of the strongest Haki users ever, Shanks actually managed to arc. Here, he released a massive burst of Conqueror's Haki that paralyzed Admiral Greenbull and prevented him from entering the country. To the Admiral when he did this, he was actually miles away on his ship. We've never seen Conqueror's Haki used this efficiently before in the series, and even Jinbei and Yamato stated that such a display of Haki was monstrous. Shanks can also infuse his Conqueror's Haki into things, particularly his sword Griffin, signified by the thin streams of black lightning radiating from it. Although other characters can also do this, Shanks seems to have a much greater potency with this ability than anyone else. This is best seen when he defeated Eustace Kid and Killer with a single Haki-infused attack, despite the fact that both Kid and Killer were capable of enduring multiple attacks from Big Mom and her homies. I don't think there's any further explanation needed. Shanks obviously goes into God tier.